You're listening to the Belmar Bites podcast, brought to you by Belmar Consulting. Matt, welcome back.
Thank you,
We've
Scott.
got another episode today, and excited for this conversation. We are episode 12, and we've got a year in review to talk about. So I guess just to sort of align a few things here, our fiscal year wraps up at the end of August. And so when we think of our year, we're not in sync with either the calendar year or the Salesforce year, which ends at the end of January. So we've got all these competing years that we're working through. But for us, we're at the end of the year and excited about the year that we're in, fiscal 25-26, and all the great things we're going to go and accomplish. So we've got a bunch of things that we can talk about in terms of the year that was and where we're going. But how's your week going? What's some of the latest? What's going on in your world?
Yeah, you know what, as you're saying, it's not aligned with Salesforce or the calendar, but you know what it is aligned with? The school year, which always makes for a really fun summer, trying to get people on calls, trying to meet people with vacations and whatnot. But no, my week has been great, Scott. I was in a great little ski village just north of Vancouver called Whistler. Beautiful place. The water's great. The temperature is great. I don't do a ton of skiing, but I would imagine those who do would love this place. So you're a big skier. You've probably skied Whistler 1,000 times.
I have, yeah. It's the time of year that we're talking about, though, is not ski season. I guess unless you go up on the glacier, which I've never done in the summer months, but certainly in the winter months when everything is in full bloom and there's snow flying and it's nice and cold. But Whistler's awesome in the summer, and I was up there a week ago, and it was very much what you described. Nice and beautiful spot, nice and cool. The air quality is amazing, and I find that any allergies that I have seem to go away when I'm in Whistler. So I'm not sure if that's due to there not being any pollen in the air, what's going on, but I always feel better when I'm in Whistler. So, but
I would agree with that. Yeah, no allergy medicine for me up there.
Alrighty, well let's talk about I guess this boundary that we've just crossed over into the new year, as I think you've described it a great way, which is it aligns with the school year. Beginning of September, I actually feel like is more of a start of a year than maybe in January. I know January is for most is the start of the year, and I guess it is the start of the calendar year. But in terms of actually things, sort of people back from vacation, business sort of re-engaging, September really marks the kickoff in my mind, and so I guess somewhat conveniently our year starts then. But let's just rip through a few of the highlights from last year and just unpack some of the wins that we had in terms of things we accomplished as an organization and things that our customers have accomplished. So what's the first thought that pops in your mind when you think of the wins from last year?
Well, I think we should do it this way, Scott. I think we should just go back and forth. You share a win, almost rapid fire, back and forth wins, and see who's got more at the end of it. But no, you know what? I'll start with the advent of AI, or the real great adoption of AI over the last year. We've seen a ton of benefit for our customers, but also for us internally as well. Things that we would have had to do manually before and would have driven people crazy, would have driven the team just, they don't feel productive in doing that, be it documentation or whatnot. The real uptick in AI has been an absolute game changer, so both for our customers and for us as well. So that is one of my big wins from the last year, is figuring out how AI fits into the fabric of the organization and how we do things.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Yeah. So first one here for me would be Nonprofit Cloud. So when I think about last year, or I guess our last fiscal year just wrapped up. So maybe the year before that, Nonprofit Cloud, we were hitting some limits in terms of customers' appetite for this concept of moving from NPSP to NPC. Salesforce was trying to figure out how to sell it. The feedback we were getting from AEs is, the cost of implementation was higher. I think that's all just been figured out now. I mean, the last time I heard about NPSP was months ago, and I think that was maybe in uh, maybe a previous recording that we did, just comparing some of the differences. But yeah, I think we're just Salesforce NPC now is just it's where everybody's either at or where they're going, and where it's much smoother in terms of uh, some of the challenges that compared to some of the challenges that we had the year before.
Yeah, and it's great to see the progression of the product as well, with the latest advent of the volunteer management solution. It's just becoming more and more. It's got to be a default for organizations. That is where all your investment is going as well. So I love that win. I agree, and I'll make sure not to bring it up again later. Now that you got it, but I'll grab the baton back from you, Scott. Here, I think a big win takeaway, just thing that I saw over the last year, which maybe a theme for our clients and our team, was just this notion of doing more with less. I got a firsthand opportunity to see clients who, over what had been a tumultuous year, be it economically, be it a variety of reasons, natural disasters, just being resilient and figuring ways out, figuring out how to do things without the funding, without the resources that they were perhaps accustomed to. And what I've really seen is almost just this top of pile action, in that the people who are able to innovate, and innovate being, where do you get donations from? Where do you get funding from? How do you deliver a program for half the cost? Stuff like that. They're, I'm seeing just this separation exist, in which, unfortunately, I am seeing a lot of nonprofit organizations out there that, with the inability to innovate, they're really struggling. But on the flip side, I'm seeing those who can innovate, those who can leverage technology, those who can figure out how to do things in half the time, make things more efficient, but while also scaling impact and the value. Oh, I'm seeing so much separation there. So just this notion of doing more with less, it's almost like a problem to be solved for our clients, and certainly they have thrived and enjoyed that challenge of, okay, what do we do now? And it's almost that gets them back to that grassroots mindset
Yeah,
of, okay, how do we do this?
yeah, yeah.
Are you
No,
are you seeing that as well?
yeah, for sure. I think there's even just how I described NPC, and just it's now everybody's got their arms kind of wrapped around this is the future. I think the nonprofit community, as well as even some of our public sector clients, the last couple of years have been challenging for many of them, and I think now people are just uh, they've settled in their minds. This is the way it is. We've got to innovate our way through and out of this, and so there's just the pause button has been removed, and the play button has been pushed, and people are moving forward, which is exciting to see. A win for me is when I look at this year that's been just our partnerships, and we've always had partnerships, but it just really feels like we've sort of turned that dial up to 8 or 9 in terms of just the value that we're getting from partnerships. And I know, Matt, you've worked very hard in developing many of these, and growing these partnerships. But it's just exciting to see the enthusiasm of our partners in working with us. And Salesforce historically has been our number one partner, uh, for, I would say, some obvious reasons, but it's all the partners that are around that, be it industry partners or technology partners that have either apps that they've built or other services that they provide. Uh, and in the past, I would say we've had very strong relationships, but this past year has just been it's been on steroids, if you will, and so it's been really exciting to see.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up because not that it was on my list, but I think you said it's at an 8 or 9 out of 10, and I could not agree more. And when I think about partnership as well, I think it's one thing to say your partner, it's another thing to act like your partners. And the big difference I've seen over the last year is, I mean, partnerships, it needs to be bidirectional. It needs to be providing value for both as well. And I think that messaging and the value proposition has been shared, and that back to this notion of doing more with less. I think it's enabled us, it's enabled our partners to get in front of clients, get in front of organizations without having to spend as much time, effort, resources as well. And being able to do that, you can just scale. You can scale off of that mindset. You can scale off of that tangible. I'm spending less to go do this as well. So that has been super exciting, and also just to see that the faucet has turned on absolutely, and that again, it's one thing to talk, another thing to actually show up with business. So
Yeah,
um, I'll grab the win stick back from you, and that I think the appetite for face to face, or as I like to call belly to belly, but the appetite to be in person has gone up, at least certainly for me qualitatively, significantly over the last year. I think if you flash back 2 years ago, 3 years ago, where everything went on halt, nobody, no face to face, no back to office, none of that. And then you go 1 year forward, and there's a little bit of, okay, I'm a little bit more comfortable at home, a little bit more comfortable on a screen, and the benefits of being virtual to today. It's almost this feeling of the craving of in-person experience and in person, I've noticed. And that's where I believe relationships get, be it forged and fortified.
yeah,
Just that in person, that's when you get to understand somebody's intention. That's when you get to understand why somebody does what they do as well. So I've seen it, and we've had the great privilege of seeing our clients in action at their offices, in person, meeting them. And I think it's also been a big focus for us as well, in that it's one thing to step in as a technology partner and say, we're going to solve all of your technical problems. But the reality is we're solving technology problems, but also people problems as well. And you don't get a true sense of that until you meet somebody face to face. So
yeah,
I don't
for
know if
sure.
you've seen the same on your side of just this ratcheting up of appetite to, we got to get back face to face. We got to get back in person. Have you seen
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, 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 I mean, absolutely. I mean, I think if the time horizon that I'm thinking about is the last 5 years, March of 2020, no in person to, gradual in person to, um, I would argue that this sort of default to, yeah, hey, we can meet in person, but I actually prefer to meet online because it's more convenient, to now we went through Zoom fatigue and webinar fatigue, and it's like
Yeah,
selling motion, online selling motion fatigue, to I feel like we're totally back to where we were, back in pre 2020, where it's just, yeah, customer events and in person is where deals happen. And I was actually I was out, just maybe to sort of click on that for a second. I was out for dinner with a friend, in a totally unrelated business that he runs, and he was describing just in their world, just how deals are done on a handshake, and you can only do a handshake when you're in person. So
true.
it's pretty cool to see, and I would say the sort of the evidence of that has been, another win that I'd love to share is just the customer events that we've done this year, and just the engagement that comes from these things. And so, we're always doing events. We're always trying to engage with prospects and customers, and build community. But we've had some fantastic events over the last 12 months, and excited for the events that we've got here in the fall, and as we look into the winter months, the ones that we're planning for right now. So I would say those are big wins, and they're big wins because we get to bring organizations together and just see
Yeah.
the spark that gets ignited between executives talking about the challenges that they're having, or the wins that they're celebrating. And uh, it's pretty cool just to be in the room facilitating, but not actually driving that conversation, and letting our customers drive that conversation. So I've got some real memories this year of just awesome customer engagement that is just such a pleasure to be part of. So that for me is a big one.
Yeah. Yeah, I recall a recent executive nonprofit executive dinner that we did in LA. Just the amount of folks that came up to me after just saying, I'm so grateful that you did this. And I think the reality is you got a lot of organizations all doing something pretty similar, all trying to solve the very similar problems.
Yeah,
And nobody, nobody really pulls them together and stitches them together unless you're part of some kind of group or alliance or whatnot. There's no real intentional community fostering and sharing of ideas. And I think, I mean, over bread, over dinner, fantastic. But just getting people in the same room, the amount of gratitude that came out of that is, I mean, it's not only exciting, it's also very fulfilling as well.
yeah,
Being able to
I
be
agree.
part of that room and realize, hey, I don't need to sell inside here. I think the real value here is just people meeting one another and people sharing ideas and saying, "Hey, you're not alone. I struggled with that as well." So,
Yeah,
speaking of events, I'd be remiss in not chatting about one of the big events this upcoming year. A big event that Salesforce puts on called Dreamforce. So, I want to spend a couple seconds just double clicking on that because I think people understand what Dreamforce is or understand remotely what it is, but maybe don't understand how to participate in that. So maybe we spend a couple minutes here, Scott, talking about
yeah, sure.
Dreamforce. So in October, and feel free to color in the gaps. I'm sure I've got many here. October 14th to 16th, Salesforce hosts what I believe is the largest nonprofit conference, and granted, it's other industries as well, but largest conference, tech conference called Dreamforce. And they host it right outside their Salesforce head office in San Francisco, and they put on a whole big show. This year, I was looking at the headliners for those who listen to music or care about performances. They've got Metallica performing, and they've got Benson Boone performing. So they're able to bring these really A-list performers and singers, and they make this whole event of sharing their technology upgrades and updates and big things they're trying to accomplish for this upcoming year. So last year there was a real big focus on Agentforce. This year they'll probably share something similar. But Dreamforce, October 14th to 16th, they transform everything. There's a lot of great sessions. It's just a great opportunity to meet people as well. And we'll actually be there as well, Scott. But I wanted to just talk about that for those who didn't know what Dreamforce is or maybe heard about it and don't really know how to participate. So
Yeah,
any gaps that you want to color
yeah.
in
It's
there?
it's 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 interesting just how you presented that, because I mean, I've been to Dreamforce many times, and I'm very aware of what Dreamforce is. And but it's actually interesting. I know in our own Slack this week, there was some messages from one of our team members who had been meeting with a customer, and they had expressed interest in going to Dreamforce, and were inquiring as to kind of what to expect. So uh, if you've been to Dreamforce, you know what to expect. It's busy, it's crazy, it's a very big event. If you have not been to Dreamforce, it's absolutely worth exploring. And if you need any tips on how to get hotels, and what sessions to attend, you can certainly reach out to myself or Matt, and we'd be happy to help you. For our nonprofit clients, I don't know if there's still a discount code, but there has been in the
Fabulous.
past. I'm sure there still is a discount code available, so you're not going to pay the full fare to get into the event. And it is absolutely uh, worth going. And I would strongly recommend, if you're going to go, to go with more than one person, because there's just the ideas that you're going to get, and the connections that you're going to build. Doing that in a small team within your organization is really a value. And for those that can't go because not everybody can make that time commitment or that financial commitment to go. Salesforce does a really good job of doing this online. So, just a
Yeah.
plug for doing a community type event. Maybe that's just your organization, or maybe you get together with a few organizations and you allocate some time for your team to participate in some of the events that are running in San Francisco. And I don't know if Salesforce stream everything live. They probably don't stream everything live, but all of the big
Yeah. The main stage.
keynotes, yeah, like a lot of the sessions will be streamed live on their platform. So you can find out more about that just by going to salesforce.com, and there'll be a lot of info in terms of how to access the online events. So um, I'm excited about this year. We've looked at Dreamforce a little differently over the last handful of years. It used to be something that we made a pretty big investment in, sending a bunch of our team, and that we had a lot of customers going, and then we went through a bit of a season where not as many customers were going, and so we sent fewer people from our team. But this year we're going back. We're doing it a little differently, and so more to come on that. I don't know if we're ready to make all the announcements about what's going to happen, but yeah, we will be there, and it's going to be a fun week in San Francisco, and lots of opportunity to engage with customers and the community.
Yeah. I love that you said go with pair. It's kind of like, and I would liken it to, for those who've never been, it's like going to Disneyland, but for tech. You don't go to Disneyland by yourself. Well, I mean, I suppose you could, but it's so much more fun when you go
Yeah,
with
it's more
friends.
fun, more fun when you
Yeah.
go with friends. So,
Yeah.
um, awesome. Well, hey, let's just spend a couple of minutes and do some forecasting in terms of kind of what we're excited about for this new year that we're in, and we maybe I'll kick it off. I think we've got a lot of really really good momentum.
Ooh.
We've got a number of customers that are uh, through their phase one. Some are through a phase two. They're getting huge value from the investment, and they want to do more. And I mean, it's always the thrill of closing a new customer is. I mean, I don't know if you'll ever sort of match that with closing second and third deals with existing customers, because that hunt and going and finding new opportunities is so thrilling. But the it is so satisfying when our existing customers are coming back to us and saying, "Hey, we had such a great experience. Your team was so great to work with, and most importantly, the value that we're getting from the investment is so high that that phase two and phase three that we had initially talked about, we want to proceed." And so I know we've got a bunch of those lined up here for this year, and it's exciting to be in that spot. And maybe to my earlier comment, it's exhilarating closing any opportunity with any customer. But it just kind of hits differently when it's with an existing customer who's uh, you're so entrenched in the organization. You've just
Yeah.
got the trust of that organization. It almost feels like you weren't expecting the opportunity to close, but uh, as long as we're doing great work and they're getting great value, they're going to continue to want to transform, and so they come
Yeah.
back and ask for more. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. I'll chime in here in terms of what I'm excited forecasting. To your point, you mentioned phase one, phase two. I think this year we will see some of our largest digital transformations and Salesforce projects go live. And why I'm excited about that is we we get to tell the story. We get to tell the story of transformation of how Salesforce or technology has really solved, and be able to help quantify that as well. And I think one, it allows us to spotlight our organization, the organizations that we work with. But two, it's good to be able to have hard, tangible metrics to say this is what it has done. And I'm really excited for this year, because I think that's in the mind of our customers, that is the biggest thing they're trying to overcome when they're making this initial purchasing decision, is What is the ROI on this? What is the impact that this will have? So this year, we're going to see a lot of that. We're going to see a lot of success stories. We're going to see a lot of, like, let's share the blueprint. Let's help fill out that blueprint, because it's going to allow us to share that same blueprint for way less cost, way more efficiently with other organizations that are similar. So that's what I'm excited about this year. Is, again, that you use the word momentum, Scott, but we're just cracking that door open, and I think it's like having a set of master keys to all of the other rooms inside that house here. We've now finished up that key ring here, and we're going to be able to open that door to these other opportunities, once they're live, and once that value proposition is hardened and solidified there.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Well, listen, we could go on, I'm sure, at length about things we're excited for. We're just at the start of the year, and we've got some great plans, and we've got a phenomenal team, and we've got amazing customers. So, I think as we navigate through this year, we'll share more updates in terms of progress, and sort of what the wins and the losses and the lessons learned in implementing Salesforce for our customers. So, Matt, I think with that, we'll sign off. And I guess if anybody is listening to this that wants to learn more, you can learn more on our website at belmarcloud.com. We would love to have a conversation with you, and be that about Dreamforce, or about a project that you have in mind, or just even talking about some strategy, things that you're thinking about within your org, and things you want to do. We'd love to be a partner and help you through that process. So thanks for listening, Matt. Thanks for doing this, and we'll see you on the next one.
Sounds good. See you, Scott.
This has been another episode of Belmar Bites, brought to you by Belmar Consulting. You can follow us on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, or on our website at belmarcloud.com.